Welcome, everyone, to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and we're back for another fantasy football season. Shoot, I don't even know how many this is now, Jeff. 2016, that's a lot. 7, 8 seasons. So hopefully you've been getting good advice from us for many years. If you haven't listened before, we kind of changed it up a little bit. We're going to be focusing, I think, a lot on auction this year because it is by far, we've talked about it before, by far the best format there is. Auction drafts, there's just honestly nothing better. Your whole fantasy experience changes, I think, once you start playing auction drafts. Like, we've done auction drafts for now, it's been like 13, 14 years now, Jeff. It's way better. Can you go back? Snake is just not the same feel.
No.
It's not as fun.
Not even close.
No.
And yeah, we always loved auctions, so why not lean into it a little more this year? And it's what we like talking about. So.
Yep. And if you're out there and you want to do an auction, but you can't convince your league to just work on it, it is way better. It is honestly the best experience you can have in fantasy football. The draft's already the best part, I think. And auction it's just more fun. It can be a little more intense at times, especially if you're really serious about the league. So, but today we've looked up ESPN's ADP and looked at what, not just their live draft auction values of what they got going right now. And we got some undervalued players. We got 2 each. I think we probably have a lot more than that based on these early numbers, but we got 2 today each. We're going to go over and tell you these guys are honestly going, we think, way below what they should, and they're good values for you right now. So these are 2 players that are, the average salary is just way too low. So Jeff, who's your number one or first guy in no particular order of auction draft values?
No particular order. We'll probably hit you up with a lot more. But the first guy I want to talk about kicking off the year is, I'm going to go with Marquis Brown. So Hollywood Brown, and I know I sang his praises last year. So it was one of those where you're correct, but with injury and everything else that went on, the overall picture of what he was able to do in 2022 wasn't as impressive as what it should have been. And so weeks 1 through 6, I looked like a genius, right? Because he was the 6th wide receiver overall, and he was doing a very, very nice job this year. And injuries derailed it. And then by the end of the year, obviously everything else going on with Arizona and that kind of being just a tough place to play for whatever reason, and everything going on with the QB. But he did come back. He played some solid games, but we knew that he was going to be second fiddle as soon as Hopkins came back. Hopkins obviously no longer with Arizona. So he becomes the de facto number 1 wide receiver, same as when he was starting last season, and he did very, very well. He is the only guy there. They desperately need to have somewhat of a good year. As long as he's on the field, number 2, I believe, is Rondale Moore on the depth chart. They're going to be looking for people to help them out, and he has always been able to produce. Obviously, he can do it in chunks as well because he does have that speed. So with all of that said, right now, currently, he's going for $6.3 in the ESPN drafts. That would be wide receiver number 30. He has really big upside. If he can stay away from injury, I really, really like this one. And I kind of like it too. I'm both of the guys I picked are going to come from teams that are in a little bit of turmoil, or people don't expect a huge jump because of the QB situation, or they don't have an offensive line or something of that nature, right? And that's why you can get them here, because you're not going to get, a good player on a good offense because everyone knows they can do it well. So Marquis Brown is kind of in that perfect situation that with injury, people forget that Hopkins kind of took away that, and then Arizona publicly being flogged at the moment.
Oh yeah, everyone is out on Arizona.
Yeah, so that's why I like Hollywood this year.
Yeah, that's 100% tying into this. It's everyone is just out on the Cardinals. Don't know when Kyler's going to come back officially. All this stuff. Their over under for wins is 5.5 right now.
I love it.
People are killing them, but you know what? $6. Yeah, like I think you can take a chance on $6 for a number 1 receiver who's a good receiver. And let's say we don't know when Kyler's going to come back. Cole McCoy can do some things. He's not the worst quarterback in the world, but it's such a low value. It's such a low price. Why not? take that chance. $6. Yeah.
He doesn't need volume as
No.
well, which I love. And on top of that, I don't care if Arizona wins one game.
No.
If they're
Doesn't
behind, more money for me. More more return on my investment. So I do not care one bit.
Yep.
Last year I was going as in like I believe that Hollywood can be that number one guy, and it was, hey, buy him early for cheaper, and then halfway through the year trade him. We didn't quite. I mean, if you trade him in week 6, you're a genius. I waited a week too long, but hey, I think I'm all in on this one. Like, that's way too low.
Yep. All right, my first guy. I'll go Miles Sanders.
All right.
I like Miles Sanders now. I was never a Miles Sanders guy. Haven't been a Miles Sanders guy. But I like this move actually to Carolina. So he's currently going 11.8, so about $12 right now in auction drafts. That's cheap. That's not a lot of money. $12 for a guy who is the number one running back on a team that was actually a pretty good rushing team last year. Carolina last year. Deontay Foreman ran 200 times for 900 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4.5 yards per carry. Chuba Hubbard ran it 95 times, 4.9 yards per carry. Obviously, McCaffrey was there for 6 games. He ran it for 4.6. Jeez. Got stuff going on. That's on my page. But there's the numbers. I closed off, so I can't be on anymore.
Sargento.
But those are pretty good running numbers, right? Deontay Foreman was actually pretty solid, and it's Deontay Foreman. You get Miles Sanders in there, who ran 259 times, 1,269 yards, and 11 touchdowns last year. Why can't he be good? Why can't he have a really good season? And for $12, $12, that's it. I'm going to load up on guys like that, I feel like. I don't want to pay the big dollars for Eckler and McCaffrey. And I like Robinson, the rookie, but he's going over $52. Like, he's probably going to be good, but you're paying for it right away. Why not go for like a Miles Sanders for $12 and get some guys like that? And
we should do another episode on this later.
Yeah.
But I really do think, and I want to test this out. I want to see if the strategy of going for low cost running backs all the way through. I'm not even get one high end running back would actually work better this year. Go heavy on wide receivers, especially if you have flex, you can fill in, and maybe pay extra for a tight end even. But I'm wondering if I just don't go running back. Honestly, and I've never been that guy.
This is the year. I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys we're not going to talk about today, but we'll talk about on other episodes in this running back range, which I used to hate that range. I don't hate it this year.
I don't hate it at all, because we've seen what happens to when you overpay for a running back. It feels like the real NFL now. When you overpay for a running back and they get hurt, they will get hurt.
How about you get 4 of these guys? Yeah. And like 2 of them hit.
Well, let's be honest. Like, Miles Sanders, the thing that people will say, like, they're going to be like, well, he's an injury risk.
Sure.
You draft him. Yeah, I know, right. But for $12, I don't care if he misses 5 games.
Yeah.
Because I think in the games
he played every game last year, actually. He played every game.
First
time he's ever done
it.
First time he's done it, but I love it. So Miles Sanders,
I like that.
You'll see him on some of my teams this year for sure. All right. Who's your second guy?
Second guy, I'm going for a running back. And right now, I feel like some of these guys are even lower value than they should be. But I'm going for a second-year guy that had a very weird start to his career, and he's going to a team that is going to need to run the ball because we don't really know who's going to throw it yet. And that guy is Brian Robinson. He's on Washington. He got shot in the leg last year, missed the first 4 games. When he came back, he played pretty decent. Like, he didn't light the world on fire, but he was close to a 4 yards per carry. He had a few games where he did, he was double digits. He only was able to get 2 touchdowns, so his numbers look really low. But by the end of the year, he was carrying 20 times a game. There was multiple games where he actually hit over 20. And I actually love the wide receiving core that Washington has put together. We have no idea how the quarterback situation is going to.
Yeah, who knows? If he's
if he's halfway decent, then I have more people on Washington I'm willing to take flyer on. And we can talk about them in another one. But Brian Robinson, I feel like he is going to get carries. He's probably going to get the goal line carries. And I feel like he is in line for, and no, I'm not even going to say he's going to be a top 10, but if he's top 20, he's only going for less than $2.
what, $1.09, 1.9. So yeah,
1.9.
not even $2.
So that is where I'm like, okay, where else are you going to get a starting running back for nothing? And this goes back to my thing. Why not load up on 4 or 5 of these guys, and then I'll put all my money towards wide receivers who you absolutely know. And shout out to Jahan Dotson too. I
like Dotson.
He actually, depending on how Howell plays, he is going to be one of those guys. He's probably going to show up on another list, probably of an undervalued guy, because I'm willing to take a risk on him, even with Sam Howell, because I think the upside is so much. But besides for that, we'll talk about that. But yeah, Brian Robinson, very underrated running back.
Yeah, I like Brian Robinson. I mean, he didn't get a real offseason last year. He came in, they gave him the job right away. They obviously saw something in him.
Yeah, and if you, I mean, the other thing that people probably say, if you haven't been paying close attention, is Antonio Gibson is still there, which he is, but he has been steadily going down. He will probably get a lot of the reception work, but at the end of the day, I don't, his role has always been diminishing. He never hit what we thought he was going to be capable of. Brian Robinson, he's going to get the shot this year, I believe.
Yep. I like that one. Again, for nothing. I love this. That's what I love about auction. You can load up on these guys. You're not worried you have to get them in a snake. You get them one round, you can get a bunch of these guys for this price and try to see who hits. All right, so my final guy, my second guy, I could go a million different ways, million different players. I'm gonna go wide receiver. I'm gonna pick DJ Moore, and I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna go back to it with a new team. He's going for $10. That's it. That's what I love about it. It's $10. That's nothing. In most situations, that should mean he's your third or fourth wide receiver in an auction if he's going for $10. And he's not ranked, though, as that. He's ranked in a snake. You're going to get him as your 2, right? You're probably getting him as your 2. If you play this right, and if you go, like we're already starting to get into this strategy. If you're going wide receivers and you're spending less on running backs, you can get DJ Moore definitely as your third, without a doubt, at $10. And this is the question mark, though, because of Justin Fields. Can he throw the ball well? But we don't know. We don't know yet. And this will be interesting to see what he can do. But you gotta think he's gonna be targeting DJ Moore. He hasn't had a receiver like that. And we'll see if DJ Moore can do something. He finally got the touchdown numbers up a little last year to 7. But it was a tough situation over there. So I like taking the chance for $10 as hopefully not your 2. I don't want DJ Moore as your 2. So that's why this is totally different than Snake. You have to have him as a 2 in a snake. It just doesn't work really any different. But you can absolutely get him as your third receiver, and I think that's how you play this. You get DJ Moore as your third receiver. You get a couple more steady guys ahead of him, and then hope for that. He has the big potential. That's what I love about this one. For $10, there's a lot of potential with him. There's a lot of receivers on this, and there's a few receivers in this range I like too. But DJ Moore, $10. I think he has it wasn't working in Carolina. He was always solid, but it never was a big boom. I think there's potential here if Justin Fields can throw the ball.